What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yejide, and if it's your first time stopping by, you're welcome. So guys, I'm going to be showing us how to draft this pleated shirt on today's episode. So guys, if this is something you're interested in, let's get right into the video. So guys, I want to calculate and show us the measurements I'm going to be marking down on my paper later. So guys, the first thing is the waist. So the waist is 28 inches divided by 4, that is 7. So guys, because of the pleat in the front, I'm going to add 4 inches to this 7, which means I'm going to mark down 11 inches on the waist when I'm drafting. Then for the back, I'm just going to add 3 inches to the 7, which means on the back I'm going to mark down 10 inches. So guys, for the hip, it is just going to be a quarter of my hip circumference, which is 10. Then for the round tie, 22 inches divided by 2, that's 11. So now for the front tie, I'm going to add 2 inches to that. So on the front tie, I'm going to mark down 13 inches, while for the back tie, I'm going to add 4 inches to that 11, which means on the back tie, I'm going to mark down 15 inches, as you can see. Then guys, the next thing is the length of the short. The length I want my short to get to, which is 16 inches. You can use your preferred length. Then guys, the waistband height is going to be 1.5 inches. That's the waistband, yes, 1.5 inches. Then the hem line, guys, this is going to be a function of the tie. So the front hem is 11, while the back hem, I'm just going to add 3 inches to that, which gives me 14. So guys, the crotch, to get your crotch, there's a formula to use. That's going to be your hip circumference divided by 4 plus 3. So guys, my hip circumference is 40 divided by 4, then that's 10 inches. I'm going to add 3 inches to that to give me 13. So guys, my crotch line is 13 inches. The next thing is the cuff height, the cuff on the hem of the shirt, which is going to be 1.5 inches, as you can see. So now I'm just going to explain it to us again. You can see the waist circumference. You can see how I calculated. I added 4 inches to that 7 for the front waist because of the pleats, and for the back I added just 3, which gave me 10 inches. You can see. Then the next thing, the hip circumference, which is very easy to get. Then the tie, round tie, you can see for front and back. Then the length of the short, which is 16 inches, as you can see. The waistband height, which is 1.5 inches. I have the hem, front and back, which I said is a function of the tie. Then the crotch line, you can see this formula I gave us to use to get your crotch line measurement. Then the cuff height, which is 1.5 inches. So guys, on my pattern paper, the first thing I'm going to do is from the top, I'm going to mark 1.5 inches across. As you can see me doing, mark 1.5 inches horizontally, just to create my border line, and also to serve as the waistband height. So just measure 1.5 inches across and join the dotted lines like so. Then after that, I'll come to the side of my paper and do the same thing. I'm going to mark 1 inch from the top to the bottom of the paper. So you can see this is going to be my center front for the shorts, and like I said, I've gone ahead to mark 1 inch. So I'm just going to join all the dots together like so. So don't forget, on the waist part I marked 1.5 inches across, and on this center front I marked 1 inches. So guys, the next thing now is to mark the crotch line, which is 13 inches, and the short length, which is 16 inches. So guys, before I mark anything, I'm going to make sure that I'm starting my tape from that 1.5 inches. You can see the way I placed my tape. So starting from that waist part, 1.5 inches, I'm going to mark 13 inches, which is my crotch line, and 16 inches, which is my short length. So I'm just going to mark this in different positions so as to get a straight line when I'm rolling horizontally. Yes, I hope we understand this. So I'm just going to label this is the crotch. Like I said, I have my crotch line and my short length, which is the same thing as the hem line, as you can see that I've labeled. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do, because our waist is not straight, I'm going to take out ½ inch away from that waistline, as you can see. So after doing this, the next thing is to mark down the waist. What I have, you can see on the front waist I have 11 inches, so I'm going to mark that 11 inches starting from this ½ inch I just took away on the waistline. So here it is, I'm marking down my 11 inches. So after this, guys, the next thing I'm going to do is to mark everything I have on that waist line. I'm going to start from the, you can see I'm going to start from the beginning of where I have my paper border, and I think I have about 11.5 inches. So that is what I'm marking on the crotch line, as you can see, and I'm going to join both measurements together like so, both markings together. So it's simple. I mark down my waist on measurement, and I mark the same thing on the crotch line. So guys, the next thing is to use my hip curve to connect that ½ inch I took away on the waistline. I'll connect it back into the borderline. So guys, the next thing now is to mark the thigh measurement. So the thigh measurement divided by 2, that's 22 divided by 2, 11, and I added 2 inches. So guys, I'm going to mark that thigh measurement on the crotch line. As you can see, I marked 13 inches on the crotch line, and I'm using my armhole curve to connect that markings back into my crotch line. So guys, the next thing I'm going to come to my hemline and also marking ½ inch. I'm going to take away ½ inch on my hemline, just like I did for the waist, you know, just because I don't want that part of my shirt to just be straight. You know, I want a little shape, a little definition to it, and I'm going to connect that back into the borderline. So guys, the hemline for the front I have 11 inches. I'm going to mark that 11 inches from the ½ inch I took away from the side. So guys, on the hemline I have 11 inches. The next thing is to connect this back into that crotch line measurement. You can see, you can do this using a straight ruler. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do also is to take away ½ inch on the crotch line. You can see I'm taking away ½ inch again, just to take out a little from the waistline, you know, that tummy area. So take out ½ inch away from the crotch line and connect this seamlessly back into the waistline like so. This is very easy to do. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do now is to use my colored marker to, you know, mark out or to trace out all my measurements so they can be very visible. So you can see that this is very easy to do if you follow the steps. So guys, we are basically done with the front pattern. The next thing I'm going to do now is just to add my sewing allowance to only the waist line and the hem line. I'm not going to be adding sewing allowance to the sides because I'm going to add this in the back measurement. So guys, on the hem line I'm going to add ½ inch. You can see ½ inch across. That is these dotted lines you're seeing, and I'm going to add this also to this crotch part, this lower crotch parts, as you can see. And like I said, I'm going to add ½ inch also to the waistline area. So guys, that is simply it for the front pattern. I'm just going to label this, and I'm going to be cutting this out twice. Don't forget, the front part is going to be in 2 places. You know, that means when I'm using this pattern to cut on my fabric, I'm going to cut out 2 of this. So guys, we are simply done with the front pattern. Once I'm done cutting this out, we are going to move to cutting the back pattern. So that is it for the front pattern. So guys, just like I did for the front pattern, the first thing I'm going to do on this back pattern is to mark 1.5 inches across horizontally from the beginning of this pattern paper like so. Again, this is going to be my waist area, you know, the waistband area. So I'll just connect my dots like so. Then also on the center back, I'm going to also mark out my allowances. You can see 1.5 inches across. This is vertically, so I'm just marking this across all the way from the beginning of the pattern paper to the end so I can get a straight line. You see, I'm just going to use my straight ruler to join all my dots together, and I'm going to label this. That's the side back, and this is the waistline here. So So guys, the next thing now is to take away 1.5 inches, don't forget, and I'll mark my crotch line 13 inches and my short length 16 inches. So starting from that 1.5 inches, I've marked 13 inches crotch line and 16 inches short length, and you can see I just went ahead to mark this all across at different points so I can get straight horizontal lines. And I'm gonna add to label this also. I have the crotch line and the M line. So guys, on the waist, again, like I did for the front, I'm going to take out ½ inch, and I'll do the same thing on the M line. You know, like I said, this is just to give my short a structure. You know, I don't just want it to be straight. So guys, what I have on the waist, I'm going to blend it into that my border line by the side. I'll do the same thing for the M line. So guys, the next thing, the waist, for the back, I have 10 inches. So guys, I'm going to mark this 10 inches from that ½ inch I took away. You can see, and don't forget, this is the back pattern. I'll mark 10 inches like so. So guys, I'm going to get the markings of everything I have on that waistline. I think I have 10.5 inches, so I'm going to mark 10.5 inches on the crotch line like so, and I'll connect both points together, what I have on the waist and the crotch. I'll connect both of them together like so. So guys, the next thing, I'm going to add 1 inch to that waistline, what I have on the waistline from the crotch area, because you want to make sure your back short is higher. The back is usually a bit higher than the front. So you can see I'm just extending the lines like so, and I'm going to blend this back into the waistline. So like I said, just add 1 inch to the back measurement because you want your back to be a bit higher than the front. So I'm just making sure to see that I still have my 10 inches on the waistline, and you can see I have 10 inches. So guys, the next thing is to mark the thigh measurement. So for the back, I have 15 inches on paper. That was what I calculated. So I'm just going to mark that thigh measurement on the crotch line. Don't forget, you're always going to be marking your thigh measurement on your crotch line, 15 inches. Then I'm going to go back to the paper and see what I have for the front. For the front, I have 13 inches. I'm also going to mark 13 inches, which is the front thigh, on this crotch line also. I'm not using this measurement. The only thing I want to use it for is just to get, you know, my curve in order to mark it into the crotch line like so. Yes, I'm just using this to get my curve into the crotch line. So that's it. The next thing now is to go to our hem. So guys, for the back hem, I have 14 inches. So I'm going to mark 14 inches on the hem line for the back like so. I'll mark down 14 inches. So guys, the next thing I'm just going to do is to join that hem line measurement into the thigh measurement like so, as you can see, and I'm just blending in my lines like so. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do is to add my sewing allowance of 1 inch to this crotch area. You can see, remember, I didn't have sewing allowance to the crotch area on the front pattern, so I'm just going to do this on the back pattern. So guys, this sewing allowance here is going to be for my zipper. This is my zipper allowance, and if I measure it, you can see I have about 9 inches. So you can make use of 9 inches or 8 inches for your zipper allowance. This is going to be on your back pattern, like I said. So guys, I'm just going to mark this at a 90-degree angle, or at an angle, you know, back into my crotch line, and I'm going to continue to add the 1 inch all the way to the end of the crotch. You can see this is going to be my sewing allowance for this other part, and I'm just going to use my marker to make dotted lines. So any dotted line you see is my sewing allowance. So for the side of this inner thigh, I'm just going to add ½ inch sewing allowance there, as you can see. Then, like I did for the front also, I'm going to add sewing allowance of ½ inch on this hem line here. So guys, I'm going to join everything using these dotted lines. So guys, for this other side here also, I'm going to add 1 inch sewing allowance. Remember, we didn't add this sewing allowance to the side of the front, so don't forget to add 1 inch sewing allowance to the center back. Yes, and I'm also going to add ½ inch to the waist area. That's the waistline, or the band line. So that is it. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do now is to use my marker to make sure that my lines, my measurement lines, are very visible. So yeah, that is it for the back pattern also, guys. We are basically almost done with this tutorial. So you can see that this is very easy to do. So guys, you can always rewind back if there's anything you don't understand, and you can also ask me questions in the comment section down below. I'm always ready to answer your questions. So guys, I'm just going to go ahead to label this also, and just like I explained for the front also, if I'm cutting this on fabric, I'm going to be cutting out two of this back pattern also. And also stay tuned. The next video I'm going to be posting is going to be the making of the fabric, the making of the style, the pleated shirts using this pattern, of course. So guys, that is it. We have the front pattern and the back pattern. Yeah, so guys, the next thing I just want to explain how we are going to get the waistband. So guys, my waist is 28 inches. So now I'm going to add 2 inches, which is my zipper allowance. That's 30 inches, which means my waist length, my waistband length rather, is going to be 30 inches, while the wideness is going to be 4 inches. Then guys, for the cuff height is going to be 1.5 inches. By cuff, I refer to that sewing, that pleats or turning at the edge or the hem of the shirt. So guys, my front and back hem is 11 inches and 15 and 14 inches respectively. If you add this together, it will give you 25 inches, guys. That means front and back, you understand? So that means my cuff length is going to be 25 inches and the wideness is going to be 4 inches. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you have any questions, please ask me in the comment section down below. So guys, please, if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please go ahead to do that already, and please give this video a big fat thick thumbs up. I'm going to see you all in the next video. Bye.